Games Workshop poised to go to war with Dungeons and Dragons 2024? Ooh, maybe? Question mark, question mark, question mark. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's the 23rd day of January 2024. The rain seems to have left us momentarily. It is bright skies and sunny outside, thank God. And it's Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we get to embrace our inner child, our inner 5-year-old, and look at toys. Specifically, Games Workshop toys, because I still think the figures are cool. And as we know, this is the year of the Warhammer Old World. Warhammer Old World is sort of a spin-off sequel to the lesser, more well-known, but extremely more and more niche Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Now, Games Workshop has said they're not going to discontinue Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay or the generic Warhammer Fantasy figures that they've made in the past. They're just focusing more on the old world and trying to make, the Games Workshop stuff a little bit more socially acceptable and socially available. Available was the word I was looking for. I was like, I know there's a word. Sorry. Don't get old, kids. Don't get old. The brain isn't what it used to be. Anyway, so yes. Now we know Games Workshop had an amazing 2023 compared to Wizards of the Coast, but generally business-wise, they had such an amazing profit in 2023 that they were able to give all their employees huge end-of-the-year bonuses. Their numbers are up, their stocks are up, their strange man walking past my window is up, the public appreciation and awareness of the line is up. It's getting more and more mainstream. It's signed the Netflix deal. Not Netflix, Amazon deal. We're seeing Games Workshop product more and more in just general public and coming up more and more in conversations. And of course, they got the whole Henry Cavill TV show thing and stuff like that. So 2023 was an amazing year for now. Okay, there's another man with a hat. Weird. Amazing year for Games Workshop, and it's starting off to look like 2024 is going to be a good year for Games Workshop, as long as they avoid the usual controversy that seems to hit Games Workshop every now and then, and continue on the path they're going, because it's getting more mainstream, it's getting more acceptable. Again, it's looking to have great numbers with the release of the more fantasy-oriented The Old World. They're looking to go after the Dungeons and Dragons crowd. And they just announced an upcoming Games Workshop Warhammer The Old World role-playing game. We still don't know a lot about it system-wise, but we do know it's being done by the people over at Crucible 7, which has rattled some cages, mostly because some people are feeling like, what's this, the third? Do I really need another one? What is this one going to be different than the last one? And other people were like, yeah, Crucible 7's release dates are not that great. And I'm sure there's another reason why they're upset about it. Or maybe there's, as we, have speculated the last couple of weeks, they're just needing a reason to be upset. But yes, so we got Games Workshop, The Old World Fantasy coming out, the figure onslaught, plus the upcoming role-playing game. It's poised to look that maybe this is the game that's going to steal the hearts of 2024. All eyes are on you, Wizards of the Coast. All right, let's see what's new in the world of toys. Okay, starting off, we've got some stuff for Warhammer 40k Kill Team, one of the many little smaller unit skirmish games that have come out of the Warhammer community. And basically, it looks like an article on how to build and use terrain in rules, specifically this little fortress here, but generally just, hey, here's a guide, how to use terrain, how to use things like obscure and stuff like that. And here's some of the terrain we use, but also here's how you could just make your own terrain. Not a very good picture. This is not very, I don't know, this just sort of looks like a mess to me. Yeah, bad choice, guys. Just look at the colors here. Okay, so we got gray and brown. Then we've got a bunch of gray and brown figures. on a gray background. Gray on gray on gray. I mean, I can't tell. Is that a person right there? Or is that a prop? I think that's a person. That could, I don't know. This is just, wow. That horrible choice. Now, specifically, this is for Kill Team, but any game that you have that is using things like terrain, it could be helpful. And it's free. Okay, we've got something coming up called Armies on Parade for 2024. Is a global celebration of Warhammer. A year of hard work and painting, resulting in gorgeous armies on beautiful displays boards. It's a challenge, but well worth it. So it's another thing where they do big terrain-centric projects. I told you about the article last week where you can find better terrain at the aquarium store than you can at the hobby shop, right? And if you've ever like looked at the stuff in the aquarium section of the pet store, yeah, and it's I'm not sure if it's exactly the same measurements. Like if a Warhammer / D&D figure is to scale with the fish tank stuff, but some of those things are like, yeah, that, you know, clean it up a little and spray a little invisible primer on it, and yeah, it could easily patch. So we're gonna, so this is like a big contest. Here are the categories. Here's the information that you need to join if you want to be part of it. And then here are the terms and conditions. And then here are some examples of previous. So this is the 2023 gold winner, and it appears to be a barbarian camp. You've got this big brown bear up here, this big black bear over here. You've got these houses with I think those are supposed to be bird houses, or they could be chimneys. And then you've just got the people of the village just out and about and all looking one way. I guess this is the village of the bear. I'm going to go. So just barbarian humans, vaguely Viking. Their totem gods behind them. They're all looking at you going, yeah, hey, welcome to our village. Then we got this one here. Another big fantasy one. Is this really an army, though? Or is it just a bunch of figures he put out? I mean, and again, the detail in the photos this week are really subpar. I can't tell what is what. Here's another one. This guy incorporated some terrain, too. And here's some classic big stompy mech figs. Got a tank over there. Managed to incorporate some aircraft. That's cool. Managed to incorporate actual terrain. And then we've got some mechs doing the mech thing. So if you are a figure person and want to step up to the next level of figure person skill level stuff, there's probably a better word for that. Something like this. Modeling combined with dioramas, combined with a little model railroad, combined with a little storytelling. This looks like fun. If I had talent, I would do this. You probably have more talent than I do, so you might be interested in trying this out. And again, here's all the rules of how to join and dates and times and things like that. Interested in finding out more about the Old World? Here's the PDF of the Almanac. And it's available. Hello. And it's available here, so you don't have to pay for it. It gives you all sorts of information on the Old World in general. Army list. You can download the army list and the ideas for these various armies right here. We've got lizard men, dark elves, vampires, ogres, Caven, demons of chaos, and chaos dwarves. A lot of those names should sound familiar from both Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40K. And I guess we will be seeing figures for these units coming up. But here's all the information. And here's just some examples of the information. Like here's what a lizard man mage priest would look like. This Jabba the Hutt looking dude on his little palanquin being carried by his lizard man army. With his weird pierced lip / price tags. Dude, you forgot to take the price tags off the figure. And here's some more examples. And then here's all again. You can just download the whole entire almanac and rules for the game without paying a dime. Not bad. Hi, Hungar. That was weird. We just went dead there for a second. I apologize. I think we're having mini earthquakes because everything's been adding really weird. We have got we saw this guy last week, but here's a close up of him here. This is Yergaloth, the Derluke bounty hunter, and he can turn into a living shadow. And we got a lot of good information on him and his weapons and his stats, and really nice paint job. With his little, I assume it also injects things because of the tubes coming out of it. So not only is it a blade that he can stab things, but it looks like it, it's got something going on where it injects poison or something. I think that's what we're trying to say. But then he also has the same poison spewing into his face. So if this is supposed to be a gas mask, then why would he have the same? I don't really understand what's going on here. Yeah, I don't get it. Anyways, this is a bounty hunter, and he's in Necromunda, which is their city-based skirmish game. Got another thing coming up, the Warhammer Heroes contest, where you can volunteer people who you think have done amazing things in the Warhammer community, and get them a little recognition. Thank you for being awesome. Yes. And that's it. Okay, so it looks like we got stuff to look at next week. Obviously, it's going to be more Warhammer: The Old World. And we got another dude on a Pegasus. This looks like one of the older figures. As you know, for the Old World, they're recycling a lot of figures that we have seen in the past. And there's been some concern that, well, those figures in the past were kind of crappy. Are they going to have the same level of craptasticness? And I believe while they are using the same molds and the same files, I am pretty sure that 2024 technology is way better than the technology that they used when they made the figures in the past. So even if they are using the same files, the quality will be much better. Though, by the looks of this guy, maybe not so much. I mean, the detail on the horse is good. The detail on the wings is good. The colors on the baldric on the horse are good. But then this guy right here, that's definitely looking like an older paint job. And you can see there's a definite difference in quality. Not much, but it does appear like maybe two different people worked on this, or this is an older figure glued onto this. Hi, Hungar. Hope you're feeling well, buddy. And then we got these dudes, more guys on horses. We got this blue knight of drinking. Yeah. And this guy with his axe, in case you didn't know, his thing was an axe. He also has an axe on his coat of arms. And look at the detail here, right here. Can you see that? So the guy who did this figured out how to make it look like the horse is stepping in and pulling his feet out of mud. I can't really tell how he did it, or she could have been a girl. Yeah. Just looks like, unless the figure was designed to look like this and they didn't add it in, but I don't know. Maybe it was. And then we've got, I am going to charge into combat wearing a bright yellow costume. I do not understand why everybody's aiming at me. Nobody would wear this color. You're literally wearing a target. And if you're like, oh, people don't have those things on their heads, that's dumb. I can assure you, if you've ever been to an army museum or seen the movie Alexander Nevsky, yes, they did wear these things on their head for the exact same reason they had these things on their shields. So you knew who they wore. And the more elaborate the thing on their head was, usually was a representative of how important they were or how wealthy they were. So it was bragging. It was showing off. It was like driving up to a car show, and you've got a Mercedes Benz, and everybody else at the car show has just got a Ford. So it is definitely a way of us showing your how important you are, and also telling people who you are. Because remember, these guys couldn't read, but they would recognize the symbol and go, "Oh yeah, that's Sir. I ride a yellow horse into combat and don't understand why everybody fires at me first. He's a friend. Let him in." Here's paladins on foot. So here we got some paladins, and the great thing about them is you could use them also for D&D. And again, we are showing kind of what time period we're focusing on with the style of the helmets, the style of the armor, and the ridiculous hats. And again, it's showing us who this guy is, how important they are, how much swag they're trying to show off, and are these top heavy? Ridiculously slow. And I can't imagine having this much weight on the top of your head is good for your neck, Plus, this guy missteps and gets enough force coming him this way, he's going to be knocked over. And these two, that's like extra wind resistance. That's like, look at this. These would both just get stuck on things. Can you imagine this guy right here trying to ride through trees? Just every tree, same thing. This guy would get stuck on a tree branch and just knocked off of his horse. So this is probably about the time historically when they were starting to realize, maybe you look cool for 5 seconds, Steve, but actually these are dumb. And then we've got the Lady of the Lake, or just some lady charging into battle, and maybe she's a wizard because she's got her staff and her sword. And here she is, not on her horse, but she's got her sword and her mace. But really, these are the guys we like, right? Let's face it. Give us General Grievous here. Give us the bad guys, these vaguely Egyptian-themed bad guys. This guy with a khopesh, which is a real weapon. This guy with a bladed staff, which is sort of based, I guess it's a polearm. But this guy looks menacing, and he's all like, let's go, armies of the Oded. But this guy over here, notice there's not a lot of females. This guy over here is more like just, hey, whoa, I see you over there. Ha, you got me. And here's some more undead doing undead stuff. You're looking all undead and spooky. And here's some undead with coat of arms. So I guess, in case you didn't recognize them, if you really wanted to know which dead dude that was, like, oh my God, that's Dave. I recognize the coat of arms. That's what happened to Dave. Yeah, here's a guy with a pole arm, and here's a guy with, I guess, a wizard staff. I don't know how he's holding his rein. Maybe he's got the reins in his teeth, or maybe the horse is just so well trained. And then we've got some stuff coming up for the Black Library, another book on tape, another book coming out for some Warhammer 40K love, and some more upcoming contests for painting as the year of Warhammer the Old World begins. And of course, the announcement that Crucible 7 is releasing a Warhammer the Old World fantasy role-playing game. Crucible 7 has some of the rights to Warhammer stuff, but then so does Renegade, and I think at least one other company. And that's just in America. I don't know about Europe for Warhammer rights. So I guess they're, GW is not as greedy about who gets to carry their product as, say, some other companies. It feels like they're more willing to go, sure, make some product using our stuff. It's, 50-50, whatever. We can't do all the work. Let's see what you do with it. And which leaves the question that we started with this. Well, now, yeah, definitely. Games Workshop had an amazing financial 2023, DM Bloodworth. So much for they were able to give all their employees a huge discount. I don't remember the exact number, but I know it was equal to like 2.5 million. I know it was a lot. It's numbers, so don't expect me to remember it, but I know it was a lot. And, we're a couple days into January being over, and it's already looking to be another amazing year financially for Games Workshop and popularity and recognition for Games Workshop. More and more game stores are counting on Games Workshop money to bring in the customers and keep the customers in there. Buy the army from the store, play the army at the store. The store gives you the painting stuff contests where and things that you pay to take part in, doing the same thing that the Games Workshop stores has been doing forever, but now you see friendly local stores embracing it because they know it gets people in. Therefore, it's very sad that once again I live in a city where I am 20 minutes driving distance within a 6 to 8 stores that would count as game stores, none of which actively supporting Games Workshop or role-playing. We do have a Games Workshop in Ventura. It's a very teeny one in a very teeny mall, and they don't really advertise, but they probably get more foot traffic than the 6 game shops that exist here in Ventura County, and that's not counting Oxnard. So I'm not bitter, and we know that is a very long story. And then, of course, they have the Amazon deal with Henry Cavill, and they're already talking about not only doing 40K, they're already talking about doing fantasy. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. 2023, great year, no controversy. 2024, so far, great year, no controversy. We'll see. And again, we get cool toys, which is the best part. So that's everything that's going on in the world of Warhammer 40K, Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer the Old World, Warhammer the upcoming role-playing game. Again, no idea what system it is, if it's going to use the system that Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay uses, if it's going to use the system that the Warhammer 40K stuff uses, if it's going to use the system that the Rogue Trader stuff uses. Don't know. But it's coming out hopefully this year. We had some questions yesterday later in the afternoon about why aren't we seeing more information about, 50th anniversary this, 50th anniversary that. So far, the only thing we've heard from Hasbro is look at this kid's book. That's because Gen Con's coming up, guys. So let's wait till Gen Con. Let's wait till Gen Con. I'm the OGGM. It's 8:33 in the morning. If you appreciate me talking about this subject every week, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about Games Workshop ever again, let me know. If you haven't had a chance to like, share, and subscribe, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.